Hi everybody, my name is Justin Stoney and I'm the founder of New York Vocal Coaching here in New York City. Welcome to episode 72 of Voice Lessons to the World and part 3 of our How to Belt Trilogy. I'll tell you, I will be glad to be done with her. But let's see what we got here today. This is from James D. in Blackpool, England. And James writes, "Dear Justin, can you give me some ideas to make my voice sound beltier?" Now, James, of course, that's the perfect question for us to ask. And we've looked already at two very specific kinds of belting. So today we're going to look further at even more ideas surrounding belting, because as we know, it is not just one thing. It is a very, very nuanced art form, actually more than I can even cover in 3 episodes. So know that we're going to do even more belting to come in the future. But we'll start off the day with more ideas by just going back to the question of what is belting? So let's revisit it again. What is belting? Well, belting is really that drag of registers, vocal registers, past where they would naturally be. So in episode 1, we looked at dragging chest voice up, where things become a kind of shout. Then in episode 2, we looked at taking the mix voice up higher than it would go, and that's the belt to use almost all the time because it's got that great nasal resonance to it and also head resonance as big features protecting the sound. But those aren't the only varieties of belting, and also there's some other tricks that I would like you to know that help make things sound beltier. This can be applied to chest voice, to mix, even head voice and falsetto. There are tricks that we can do that can disguise things to sound belty if we want them for that stylistic effect or technical effect on the voice to increase the beltiness of the sound. So let's look at some other alternatives, other tricks that we can add to our belt. Belting is called belting because it's basically a kind of shout. Now, we're not shouting very often. When we drag the chest voice up, then we are doing a kind of controlled shout. But when we take the mix up, we know that we're not shouting at all. So what we want to do is learn some qualities of shoutiness that make something sound acoustically belty without doing the actual shout gesture itself. So what are some of those qualities of a shout? Well, there's the mouth exit, there's the mouth acoustical shape, this one. There's perhaps sometimes a high larynx. Now, of course, we don't want to be blowing lots of air or blasting volume out of high larynx, but the larynx does come up. There's the nasal resonance that can give it a shine and a real zing to the sound. And then sometimes there's even a bit of a raspy quality to the sound. Now, we're going to look at rasp a lot more in videos later on, but some rasp in the sound can actually increase the belty quality as well. So that's it. Those are some shouty qualities that don't necessarily mean shoutiness. The mouth exit, the mouth shape, the raise of the larynx, the nasal resonance, and the raspiness. And so we want to be able to use some of these coordinations, like I say, whether I'm in chest voice or mix or getting up into head voice and falsetto, anywhere that I'm at in my range. If I want something to sound beltier, I can apply belt tricks to make it do that, even if I'm not dragging a shout. And a really good song to demonstrate this with is actually Gethsemane from the musical Jesus Christ Superstar, because it goes sky, sky high, but we're doing it right here. We're letting the chords lengthen. The cricothyroid is lengthening the vocal cords. The air is staying in, but we're doing acoustical shapes and sounds that make it sound beltier and actually quite rockin' up at the top, even though it's quite light to the voice. So let's check this out with Gethsemane from Jesus Christ Superstar. In the musical Jesus Christ Superstar, I don't want to give it away, but Jesus dies. And when he does, he has to sing a Jesus kind of high note, which happens to be a G5. And you think, well, why would anybody want to even belt that high? What's the purpose of going all the way up there that high in a belt? There better be a darn good artistic or dramatic or musical reason for doing so. And in this case, in fact, there is. The man is dying on a cross. And so there's a dramatic reason why Andrew Lloyd Webber made the piece go that high. So let's take a look at this very, very dramatic, this Gethsemane from Jesus Christ Superstar. And it's just way, way up there in the stratosphere. But here's the cool thing. That doesn't really cost the voice very much. It's not that hard to do. Maybe technically it's difficult, but not physically. As we go higher and higher, we actually lighten the vocal cords if we're doing things properly. If you're yelling and pushing chest up like we did in the first episode, if that stuff goes too high, of course, it starts to cost you. But if you move into the mix, you move into head voice and sometimes falsetto even, and a reinforced falsetto when you go up way high in the voice and then disguise it with other tricks and resonances, it gives that impression of belt, 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 belt all the way up there. And so we're next going to look at some of these belt tips and tricks that are a little bit different than what we looked at yet. These are some tips and strategies that I'd like you to keep in mind, because what we're about to do is an exercise that covers all of what we have done in the entire How to Belt trilogy. And don't listen to her, listen to me. Okay, so what we need is steady breath support, right? You're not going to get loud to go high now. Everything's going to stay the same breath-wise, volume-wise. You're going to use nasal resonance in all the registers, because this exercise is going to go from chest to mix up into head voice, reinforced falsetto, all of that highest of belting. So you're going to keep the resonance involved in all of what you do. Steady volume, steady breath, resonance, and then you can play around with some of those alternative acoustical shapes that I mentioned earlier in today's lesson. And so you mess with all of that stuff. The exercise will facilitate it. This exercise is in honor of my very good friend, Manny Cooner, who probably knows more about vocal technique than any cat in the history of mankind. So this is going to be the Manny Cooner exercise. This is meow, M-E-O-W, meow, on a 1-5-1-5-1. Now the Manny Cooner exercise, the M is going to be bringing you into the nasal resonance, which we know is so important. The E vowel will lift the tongue and brighten the sound and help you to not push out the mouth, so we're going to have that access here. The A vowel will give you a more acoustic, belty shape with the front opening, and then the oo will bring us right back into the head, just to make sure that we don't get too pushy. So we have Manny Cooner to thank for this great belt exercise. So here we go, ladies and guys, on the same notes. You're starting in chest, you're moving up into mix land, up into head, and then reinforced falsetto kinds of territory. The one thing I don't want you doing is pushing volume. It shouldn't hurt, it shouldn't feel like a strain. We're lightening up. You can connect as long as you can currently go, and then let it get lighter. That way you're building the mix the right way, the light way, and not the pushed way. So here we go with a Manny Cooner. Meow, 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 meow. So nice. awesome job, and I know that Manny Cooner is very, very proud of you. And so am I, because this has just been such an awesome How to Belt trilogy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I finally got her, and I'm so glad about that. I took her down after all of this nonsense. So thank you guys for joining me for this How to Belt trilogy. I really hope James and Fatur and all that we've had ask questions on this trilogy. I hope this has been helpful for you guys and singers around the world. I hope this has helped you to increase your knowledge of what belting is all about and to try out some of these belts. Like I say, there's more work for us to do on belting to come, and I'm not going to spare these tips from you. We're going to do more of this in the future, but this trilogy really helped us to kick things off right, and I hope it helped you guys. So if you have questions that you'd like to see us answer on the show, you can send an email to questions@voicelessonstotheworld.com. So I just encourage you, don't lose the joy, don't lose the passion, don't let people tell you you can't sing, because you and I both know it's just false, not true. Get with a great voice teacher in your area, or if you're in the New York City area or you'd like to Skype with one of our staff members, you can visit us at www.newyorkvocalcoaching.com. And I also encourage you to download our free app for iPhone, iPad, hopefully more in the future. Great resources, tips, articles, videos, all kinds of things to help you guys get to the next level on your singing journey. Or you can simply visit www.voicelessonstotheworld.com. I'm Justin Stoney. We'll see you next time.